Hi there. Sorry. Hello. Good evening. I'm Giorgi from Omidia, and I'm joined with my colleague, also Giorgi, so it's easy for you to remember our names. So we're from Omidia, an agency based in Georgia. About a year and a half ago, we created the first version of Drupal MCP module. And this whole session will be related to Drupal and MCP and how to use it, when not to use it, and so on. I'm not gonna even ask, so I'm sure everybody is aware of what MCP is. So it started in the end of 2024 by Anthropic. This is the open protocol, which basically defines how you can share your additional and custom context to LLMs and LLM models and LLM agents. The idea is very simple. You all know that when you share your context with LLMs, they become much more useful for you. Without it, they are just powerful but pure intelligence. But when you share even small CSV file or image with them, they become truly useful for you. So this is the universal standard how different applications can share this context with them. Although this protocol defines many different things, there are two main things when it comes to what is a context. Primarily, that's first of all the data and data model and data structures, and then it's your infrastructure to modify that data, right? So if you think this way, that context on the one hand is your data, and on the other hand is your whatever we call it, infrastructure or tools or functions or something that modifies that data. So if you combine these two things and somehow expose it to the LLMs, then we can say that you successfully shared your context with them. And this is the two main pillars for the MCP. There are many other things as well. And as I said, so we initially created the module, this Drupal MCP module, and Drupal basically was truly one of the first platforms which embraced MCP, because as you see, we basically published the module days after Anthropic published this protocol, and it still is stable and people are using it. You can enable, install, and share your Drupal context with the LLMs and use it their way. Giorgi will talk more about technical details and how you can extend this and how you can create your custom tools and how it all works. But to me, if I want to select three main modules that you have to have in mind when you think about Drupal and MCP and how to make this all work, one is the very important layer is Tool API. It's not directly related to MCP, but MCP also depends on this. Not hard depends, it does depend in a hard way, but so what's the Tool API? Tool API is a foundational layer in Drupal, which kind of creates a way how different kind of actions can be discovered within Drupal and how they can be described. And this last part is very important for LLMs, so they have to know when to use different kind of actions and when to run them. So this module standardizes this. Things like, I don't know, create an entity or update the field value or remove the field from the entity. Any kind of action that can be run within the Drupal can be created with Tool API, including custom ones, because it's based on Drupal plugin system. You can create your plugin and create your custom tool there. And then with simple auth module, we create the authentication for MCP. And with this way, we make it sure that it is run in a secure way. You can scope data and tooling with different permissions and roles, and you can truly take advantage of this Drupal's permission system. And the last module, which is relatively new, and it's not directly Related to MCP, it's more related to Drupal's internal AI ecosystem. It's called Context Control Center. This is really important. So the module basically makes it possible to create different kinds of context items, which essentially are the markdown texts, and they create this context for models and agents. And it was primarily, and it is primarily created to work with Drupal AI core module to attach them to Drupal agents, AI agents within the Drupal. But think about it, why not? We can also expose these context items as MCP resources, and then you are able to basically manage centrally your context within the Drupal, and then use it externally with different systems if we expose this as MCP resource. So this is basically how we lived recently. I'm sure if I now check my Twitter feed, I will see some new big thing that's happening, even maybe making this presentation not relevant anymore. But yeah, 2025 was really hype for MCP. Everybody was talking about MCP. Everybody was building MCP servers. In 2026, we now are aware that there are also some issues that we need to think about. We know the thing about token bloat. So if you just connect 10, 15 MCP servers to your agent, you can easily just end up to eat all your tokens and then do not produce any meaningful work there. And the next thing is that Claude Code and Open Code and Codex and other coding agents just make it very clear that there are a lot of use cases when it's better to use Claude tools or Claude commands or their native local tools to execute different actions rather than use the MCP. And also there are security concerns about MCP, but I don't think that's fair. We can discuss that later. But yeah, these are two different realities now. The 2025 was hype. Now we are looking things from a different perspective. Still, how to think when to use MCP when it's not, when it doesn't make sense to use it. I myself think this way. So when you have to do something related to development, when you need to, when you work with Drupal locally and you are doing the development work, in most cases it's better to use Claude Code or whatever agent you're using and their native tools because it's cheaper, it's more effective. But in cases when Drupal is part of some bigger system, when it's connecting to some external systems, maybe external AI workflows or something that you need to connect externally, then I think Drupal MCP is the better way to use, and in many cases it's the only effective way to do it. Now I will quickly show you a short demo of what I mean in which cases, for example, it's better to use. The demo is real use case. One of our clients, I show it with their consent. The idea is that this is one of the Georgian banks which just provide loans for small businesses and farmers, and they do this based on their properties they own. And in most cases, it's their cars. They provide their cars, and they get the loans based on this. And the flow is the following. So the clients are requesting this loan from their mobile application, and then the bank operates with within their ERP, in this case Odoo. And then the Drupal takes care of all the backend operations. And then you see this alternative AI workflow operations. And the thing is that what we do is that we are helping their risk assessment officers to just assess if this car is really useful and valid to use for this loan. And I'll just now show you this video demo. So what's happening here now is that person is filling the request in the mobile application to request a loan. And as I said, they're uploading the images for their car. They're asking for front image, then back image, and then the image of the engine, and image of the engine when it is turned on, and so on. There are like a lot of images. And then they're filling this, and then after they submit, actually Drupal web form submission is created there in the backend. And automatically this flow is started. And in this flow, you see some nodes are there with the icon of MCP. And all those nodes are actually Drupal connected to this flow with the MCP module. Some of them are responsible to get the submission data, some of them to get the images, and then AI model is just verifying this, whether images are correct or not. And now we see that this was automatically rejected because we uploaded wrong photos there. And now you see that in Drupal submission, through the MCP actions, the reason is put automatically. And then on the mobile application, client also sees this. And now you see the context item. I mentioned the CCC module. All the rules for Gemini model that is looking for the images are created into this context item. And editors and administrators can manage this here. And also you see here, you will see soon the custom MCP tools that I used for this integration. So basically, we connected Drupal with MCP module with a couple of custom tools and the context item. And in this case, we connected it to the external system where many different parts are integrated, like Odoo and the AI flow and the Drupal itself and the front-end application and so on. Now I'll ask Giorgi to continue the presentation and show you more technical details about how you can write the custom tools and how you can configure all this and so on.
Okay. I think I have some time left. So first, as Giorgi mentioned, there was two modules. One module is our. When we create modules, there was no official PHP SDK. So there was many messages in Slack why the two modules exist in the Drupal ecosystem. And it's actually because of when we created, there is no official SDK, there is no house configure, house specifications, there is nothing. And then Matteo, thanks for Matteo, came and create a module which follows the MCP specification. And we, instead of competing, decided to join forces and create one MCP server module for Drupal, which is follows the SDK specification and also take best practices from our module, which is how we define tools, how we expose them, and so on. So, okay, I missed that part. And let's go over what actually MCP server ships today. What we are talking about today is all the MCP server, which is new module which follows the specification, not the module which is not actively maintained yet, which is main Drupal MCP module, which later convert to something else. So what this module contains is that we have two transport, HTTP transport for external communication and also the Drush STDIO transport if someone still wants to use it with Claude code. And we have two plugins which you can use to expose your tools. We have prompts as a config entities. You can define prompts and the prompts is also an important part of the MCP. And there is possibility to define resources and the resource templates. And there is authentication out of the box. You can use also Matteo's module WAUS or you, with WAUS 1.2.1, which is also Matteo's module. And there is also sampling, which I need to go over because of its interesting feature for MCP, which how many you know what is sampling? Okay, so it will be interesting. So what is sampling? In the normal flow, when someone uses MCP server. MCP server can just use as tool caller. So you have tool, you run that tool returns the result, and your LLM use that result for you. But sampling actually flips it another way. So in the mid tool call, Drupal can pause, and Drupal can ask LLM something, and LLM can return the answer, and then tool can use that answer and return the final answer. So in the flow, if it's shown, there is AI client, there is Drupal, and there is tool, audit tool, let's say, and someone calls that tool and says that I want audit content type, content ID with 42, and Drupal loads articles, and then Drupal can ask LLM rate on the brand voice, and then your LLM can use that article, rate that article, and return it to the Drupal. Drupal can use that answer and return the final answer. So this is important because of, in that case, you can use it with translation, moderation, summarization, without any LLM inside the Drupal. So your own LLM, you pay for that, and you can use MCP to use that LLM outside the Drupal. So it's pretty cool. Now, okay, I messed up with Google Slide. So we have 4 ways to extend them. There is tool plugin, as I mentioned, and tool plugin is important because of tool plugin is possible to extend the core functionality, extend the MCP module itself. So you can use this tool attribute and define your plugin, define your tool. And the second important one, which Giorgi already mentioned, is that tool API bridge. And tool API bridge is important because of everyone uses tool API. And it's became more and more useful. And you can use this tool with our bridge module and expose all the tools as MCP tools. So you can use tool API tools out of box without any coding. And there is prompts, as I mentioned. Prompts can defined by admins. There is no coding needed. And you can also define prompt autocomplete plugins by the code and use them. And there is also resources. There is 2 ways to use resources. You can define a resource, and resource is something which is concrete representation of the thing, like file, a blob, anything else. And there is resource templates, which is more pattern definition of the resources, you can say that way. So right now I can change my view to mirroring and show you some code, I guess, how to use tool, what is tool plugin. So tools is like that. So first you have defined tools, which is defined by tools attribute. And these tools will automatically export with the MCP server. There is nothing to do on the administrator side. You have tool. Tool is pretty easy to describe. You describe tool, you say this tool is, this will have label, description, and some module dependencies. And this module dependency is important because of it say why, when this tool can be used. And also tool have pretty lean interface. You can have get tool method, which just returns the tool for the LLM with input scheme and output scheme. And also you have execute tool, and that's it. That's automatically exposed for the LLM. And the second one, as I mentioned, is that you can also have tool API tools as a MCP tools. And this is, you define them from the admin interface. You just create configuration for them. You can create MCP tool, you can set name, and there in the list, all the available tools you have in the tool API exposed for you. You can save it, and this will also available for the MCP. And the second part, sorry for this jumping, there is resources and resource templates. And resources and resource templates is also defined by the code. So you can define resource template, resource provider. So this resource provider is example resource provider, which says that this content type list, and this resource provider just returns the content types for you. And you can also define content entities. And when you define them, they need to be enabled from the admin interface. So this is resource template. When you have this resource template also have configuration form, which you need to define. And this configuration form, you can configure this resource template as you want. For example, this example resource template can configure as which resource type you need to expose, which you need to deny. And in the resources, you can also enable these resources and save configuration, and they will automatically expose afterwards. And then we have prompts and autocomplete plugins. And prompts and autocomplete plugins is actually prompts itself need to be defined into the admin interface. So, for example, this is prompt which says that translate text, and this translate text you can define the arguments, which then LLM can be used for the autocomplete. So inside the LLM, MCP gives possibility to autocomplete something, and this is how you define them for the prompt. And for example, if this prompt says that translate some text, and this translation can happen, this text can be translated from that list, then you can define them, and then you can use set variables into prompt like that, and the LLM knows how to autocomplete them for you. And this is also pretty cool. And now I need to bring back my slides. Which I can't. And what's about roadmap? So about roadmap, right now, MCP server is highly maintained, actively maintained by us and by Matteo. So it's not released yet. You can still use it. I use it. So the roadmap we see is that the module itself needs to become as lean as it can be. I mean the core module, and like JSON API module, for example. And this module can also define submodules, which for UI components, for AUS integration, for tool bridge, for reference example, for anything else except the core, which just follows the MCP specification, nothing more. And right now it's updated to the latest PHP official SDK, which is 0.4. And we also had notification support, which I don't speak about. It's also a cool feature where if LLM and the MCP server is connected with SSI, with real-time communication, server can push something to the LLM, like cron job finished, content published, anything else. And AUS became event-driven in that version, which is also important because of right now, the old version of the MCP, you define AUS provider per tool. Right now, it just throws a event and anyone can react on it. And we need to make resource providers and resources more developer-friendly and more user-friendly, I guess. So let's see how it goes. Thanks. Questions, if any? Okay.